Evcol.
Enough bloody cold out there. We got to deal with him tonight, Andy.
I thought I already told you to get him sorted. Where's he now?
He's outside in a motor, isn't he?
Yours?
No. His.
What you bring him here for then?
Well, way I see it is it's far enough off our usual stomping for the old Bill to turn over this man's usual suspects if they come looking.
If they come looking, we'd better get out of town.
You should have seen the ag I had trying to get him to stay on me tail all the way up.
Oh, you must have made it nice and easy for him then. That one couldn't normally follow a trail of breadcrumbs, stupid
Yeah!
All right, how's it going to go down then? I mean, it's got to be neat, innit?
Thursday night, inside the Victory, tailing Metcalfe and Cochrane. They're sat at the bar. Don't think I've been eyeballed yet. Shadowed Cochrane by car from Metcalfe's flat on Haygate Street, up through the Elephant, over London Bridge and halfway up to bleeding Hackney by now. He's not very bloody careful, is he? I love you too, darling. I won't be long home. The missus, she worries something awful. Cochrane and Metcalfe look like they're waiting, like they're due a meet soon. Most interesting thing Cochrane's done in the past week is take a shit. Still, I always knew it would be a slow burn.
Hey, want a game, son?
All right, Andy, why not? You don't normally want to.
Why don't we make a tournament of it? With our friend over there.
Oh, yeah. Oi, mate, do you want a game?
Me?
No, the war behind you. Course you. Winner plays on.
I guess, okay.
Got a quid? For the machine?
Yeah. $10:15 p.m. now. Played a few rounds of pool with Metcalfe and Cochrane. It's weird, like they're showing me nothing is happening. No meet, no calls, just these two having a few pints and playing a game. Anyone else, you'd think it was just another normal night, but not for these two. It's not like them to stand around without a plan. Oh, yeah, I forgot. One of their goons came in about 9 while I was doing my best Steve Davis. Didn't see who it was, wearing a motorcycle helmet, see? In and out, though. Now handed over, I could see. I just came in, quick word with Metcalfe and out again. Metcalfe didn't even buy him a drink, the type bastard. Hi, you've reached Detective Sergeant Mark Appleton. I can't answer the phone right now, but you can leave me a message here, or if it's urgent, call my office at Kennington Police Station on 020...
Yeah, I'll get rid of it. No sweat. Yeah, I know. Over there.
Nefarious by Richard Bates. Part 1.
Baby, what's this at this hour?
Mom, it's Dave Townsend here, from the Nick.
This had better be good, Sarge. It's only just getting light. Do you know what time it is?
Why? I wasn't disturbing you in the middle of anything, was I, Mom?
Yes, sleeping. Like any other sane person at this hour. What is it?
Sorry, Mom. I wouldn't have bothered you, but Detective Chief Superintendent Brennan told me to call you out to a crime scene. Come fire or brimstone or the four horsemen of the apocalypse were her exact words.
Yes, all right, Sarge. Where does the DCS want me to go at this unreasonable hour?
Sports bag containing a body has been pulled out of the River Lee near the Bow Locks.
Oh, near the Bow Locks? That must be at least 5 miles off our patch. Are you calling from Kingley Street?
Yes, Mom.
The Kingley Street Nick in Soho, where we both work.
Yes, Mom.
You haven't transferred in the night?
No, Mom.
OK, then.
Thing is, this bag they've found contains the suspected remains of DS Mark Appleton, who went missing just before Christmas.
What?
The body of DS Mark Appleton has
Yes,
been...
I heard you. Bloody hell. No wonder Brennan's in a flap. Tell her I'm on my way.
Car's on its way to collect you from your place now, Mom. DCS Brennan and DS Spicer are already at the scene.
Ah, Lizzie, there you are.
Yes, Ma'am. Sean Spicer filled me in the car on the way.
Body of Mark Appleton floated just over there. Night angler hooked the bag in the water around 1 a.m. Got a bit more than he bargained for when he looked inside.
We certain it's Appleton, Ma'am?
The body's pretty far gone, but his warrant card and a few credit cards and a driving licence were in the coat pocket.
Why leave those?
That's for you to find out.
Why me? Why not the local factory? What is it round here? Bo?
Because it comes from the top, DCI McHugh. No one known to or acquainted with the victim can be on the case. Too personal. Too much drama. Too much at stake for the Met.
Assistant Commissioner Dixon wants you to head up the investigation.
Anyone who doesn't like that fact can make an appointment with my secretary to visit Scotland Yard.
Yes, sir.
Now, you did a terrific job with wrapping up that Tony Aldridge bit of unfinished. Plus, this area is Appleton's old manor. So it would be high risk for friends doing posthumous favours.
Or settling old scores.
We cannot, I repeat, can bloody not have a repeat of the Steve Doolan Farrago.
Absolutely not, sir. No danger of that with Lizzie. She's my best detective.
I thought Appleton worked out of Lambeth somewhere. Kennington.
Yeah, he started off round these parts, though. And he's a known face to the local John Darms. Now, I don't want anyone sweeping anything under any carpets. If Appleton was into something bent, it's got to be brought into the light. No slugs left under no stones.
Yes, sir.
I want you to drop everything else you've got on the slate at the minute and work this case day and night. We need a quick, clean turnaround on this one. You all right for manpower?
Yes, I think so, sir. Oh, could you get me DC-8 Hendry from Shepherd's Bush? He worked the Aldridge case with me and is a dab hand with loose ends. Him, plus the rest of the regulars, we should be able to handle it.
Consider it done, Lizzie. We need to keep this as small and in-house as possible. I know I don't need to tell you, but no evidence goes outside the circle of your team, Sue Brennan here, and me. Any journalist starts squeaking, I'll know where it's come from.
Just like with Aldridge then, sir.
You up to speed on DS Appleton's disappearance, Lizzie?
Oh, only what I read in the papers and saw online when he went missing. I wasn't involved in the search for him. He was based south of the river. Wasn't the theory that he absconded with someone else's money or wife? Or both?
I've had all the evidence from the Misper case couriered over to Kingly Street.
With all due respect, sir, I thought we gave Misper cases a lukewarm cup of tea in about 10 minutes these days. What useful is going to be on the file?
Not when it's a copper, a detective sergeant. You better make yourself busy, DCI McHugh. And keep me and Sue posted.
The local CID are going to love this.
Ah, Lizzie. I wondered who they'd send for this one. And when I saw DCS Brennan here, I knew it would be Lizzie McHugh.
I'll leave you to it then. Keep me up to speed.
Yes, Ma'am. Oh, Professor Keith Davidson.
I don't think I've seen you since we pulled a body out of a derelict lift shaft before the pandemic.
Oh, the job is filled with such romantic places. Oh, please tell me you've got something.
Have you done a body submerged in a body of water before? A body in a body, you might say.
I assisted as a DC on one at Bethnal Green.
This one's been in approximately 5 to 6 months.
Well, that matches our timeline with Appleton's disappearance last Christmas. How can you know that already, though?
Adipocere, DCI McHugh. Grave wax.
I see.
After months submerged in water, human flesh turns into waxy, crumbly soap. Adipocere. I'd expect to see that level of decomp on Chummy here after 5 to 6 months submerged.
So, that fits. Mark Appleton's last confirmed sighting was the 22nd of December.
Yes, December 22 to July 23 would be about right for what we're seeing here.
Beyond the circumstantial, do we have anything to positively ID him?
That, in addition to the wallet my assistant pulled from one of his pockets, we found a few bank cards and a police warrant card in it, all in the name of Mark Appleton. It seems fairly conclusive to me.
Oh, Professor Keith. Pulling a wallet from a pocket only tells me he went in the water with Mark Appleton's wallet about his person, not that he is Mark Appleton.
So young and already so cynical.
That's what the Met's fast-track scheme gets you.
Well, we'll get Chummy here back to the Westminster mortuary, get any prints and do dental records. Post-mortem 11 a.m. sharp. It's amazing what you can organise when you're Assistant Commissioner Crime.
Ah, the magic of AC Dixon, eh? All right, Professor Keith. The team and me will see you then.
Okay, everyone, listen up. The DCI is 5 minutes away now. Get any relevant info and photos on the board, and have your pencils sharpened, ready to go. You know she hates to be kept waiting.
I do indeed. Thanks, Sean.
Oh, morning, Gov.
Right, sorry for the hour, everyone. Nice to see all your smiling faces, though.
Mom?
Especially nice to see DCI Hendry back in Kingly Street. Aid did his CID puppy walk with us before going over to Shepherd's Bush as a fully fledged DC. And just in time for the pandemic, too.
Good to see you too, Mom.
So, now we've done the This Is Your Life, we've got a big case coming. What do we know so far? At 0100 hours, a night angler fishing near the Bowlocks turned up a much bigger fish than he expected. And at 0140 hours, local uniform pulled a sports holdall out of the River Lee containing human remains, now thought to be those of DS Mark Appleton. As you may remember, DS Appleton worked out of Kennington Nick last December, just before Christmas, and was never seen again. As you will see, AC Dixon has, so kindly, sent over all the material from the Misper investigation back in January. What have we got in that little lot, Kirsty?
A lot of paper and not much to go on, Gov. It looks like the usual interviews were carried out. He'd last seen his ex-wife and kids Sunday 12th of December last, and was due to see them again on Christmas Day for lunch and presents. Never showed. No word and no replies to their calls or texts, or anyone else's. After a few days, the phone battery went dead.
Not a good sign. Now it looks like he might have gone dead too. What about the divorce?
Amicable by all accounts. Just pressures of the job and the usual...
So nothing to suggest he hadn't disappeared voluntarily and just didn't want to be found?
Well, Appleton's HR file says he'd been through the job counsellors for a bit of depression and drinking after his divorce.
Was that looked into at the time?
No, because he was assumed to be alive and AWOL. His file was strictly need to know.
And the Yard didn't want lots of people rifling through confidential files.
All right, we look into it. Did he top himself? And someone helpful cleaned up the mess, especially if life insurance was involved. Who else might have had a grudge? Had he upset anyone recently? Did anyone he put away for a long stretch just get out? I want to know it all. We need to check what he was up to after the 12th of December 2022. Has anyone checked his diaries?
He was on compassionate leave, Gov. After his divorce.
OK, Aid and Kirsty, do some checking round his friends. See if they remember anything unusual. Sean, see if you can talk to his governor at Kennington.
Yes, Gov.
Do we have his phone? I mean, was it on the body in the river?
No. No phone was found on his person or in the holdall.
Has anyone tried to trace it?
The skipper on the MISPA inquiry tried, but apparently the phone company can't do much until it's switched on again.
Well, either it was chucked or the battery is dead. Or someone's removed the SIM. Those are the standard ways to make a phone vanish.
Or it had something incriminating on it, which the murderer wants to make sure never comes to light.
All right, I remind you we've yet to get a formal ID, let alone a murder verdict from Keith Davidson. But for now, we're working on the assumption it's Appleton. And Lord knows I'll be more relieved than anyone if it's not. OK, Sean, you take Kirsty to the PM. I want cause of death. We think it's it's murder, let's be sure. Aid, you and I are going to stay here and look into Appleton's social media. I'm told most people live their lives on those websites these days.
Are there apps, Mom? They're all on apps these days.
Do we at least have his computer?
Yes, Mom. All ready to go.
OK, good. It goes without saying, we don't discuss any aspect of this case with any of our pet journalists. No favours for tidbits. With the murder of DS Steve Doolan last autumn, everything's changed. We're all under the microscope. Got that?
You've worked a big case with the DCI before, haven't you?
Yeah, all of them for the last few years. Aldridge was the last big one, just before you joined us. Last of the hard men, him. Real 70s copper.
Yeah? That was just before I joined, I think.
Yeah. See, with that one, we knew who we wanted. We just couldn't make it stick in time.
And this is just chasing shadows, right?
Pretty much. Ah, we're here. Just pull in. We won't stop for the old thing, don't worry.
Don't worry about me. It's you I've heard has trouble holding on to his breakfast. Sir?
Good morning, both. No DCI McHugh?
No, she's back at the office making a start.
Oh, you'd better come this way, then. We don't often see you darken our doors, Detective Sergeant. Now, as you can see, we've now cut him free of the bag he was found in. We didn't find anything else in it for you to take back to DCI McHugh, I'm sorry. I do so like to give my regular visitors a party bag. Anyway, you're now watching Amanda, my very able assistant, unfolding our man. Rigor has long since set in and passed, so we're just battling against the forces of decomposition. Get that out of here, get it out! DS Spicer does have a very delicate stomach, does he not?
Not when it comes to 5 lagers and a king prawn pile.
That's very wicked, DC March. I dare say you'll be his boss one day, not the other way round. May we carry on? This is costing hundreds of pounds per hour. And there are even more cutbacks on the way, so...
Of course, Professor Davidson.
And now we have him straightened out, the first thing I would draw your attention to is this. The cobweb fracture on his skull here is most likely from our old friend, the heavy blunt instrument, and almost certainly the final cause of death.
Murder, then?
He could have fallen. Cursory examination shows our man to be 5'11", in early middle age, and in reasonably good physical shape at time of death. He suffered a vicious and prolonged assault before the final blow.
So whichever way you slice it, someone is responsible for his...
I see it's my job you're really after, DC March.
Sorry, Professor.
It must have been delivered with tremendous force, to judge from the number of concentric rings in the mosaic pattern of the fracture. See?
Oh, yes, there.
And with a blow like that, death would have been almost instantaneous. There's no visible sign he's been shot or stabbed from the remains here. He can't tell you about poisons until we send some samples off to Tox, though in his far-gone state, I'm not sure toxicology will establish much beyond what we can see here. Though arsenic stays in the remains for a long time.
Any idea what the blunt instrument might have been?
Just like DCI McHugh, you always want more. Short answer is no. I will take some casts from the bone and see if we can discern a pattern you can match to a weapon. See if we can't steer the humble servants of justice in the right direction.
And we're in.
That was fast.
Password was his kid's birthday. Basically first on the list of first things I'd check.
Better have a look at his emails. Well, hang on. First, let's see if he's on Facebook or what's that other one?
Twitter? Instagram?
Yes, that.
Which?
Don't get lemon with me, DC Hendry. I knew they were different things.
Well, I must say, it was nice of him to leave it all logged in. Where's this computer been since he disappeared?
Met Police Archives. No one's touched it. His family didn't want it. His flat's not been touched, so we hung on to it. We don't want anyone getting their sticky Germans on what might be our best lead, do we?
Here we are, Gov. Facebook. You know, social media is now often the thing that cracks a case open. People aren't as careful as they should be. They think it's all private.
Not much on it, is there?
Well, he didn't post much, but serving police officers aren't strictly supposed to have Facebook pages. Though as long as the powers that be don't have to go looking for one.
What the eye don't see, the heart don't grieve, eh? Oh, I'm guessing this one does photos.
Oh, yes. There you go.
And voila. The life and good times of DS Mark Appleton.
Want to have a look? Just scroll through using this.
So, these at this end are the most recent, right? This looks like late November. Where's this?
Pub somewhere? Could be anywhere.
Hang on a minute. Can you blow this up a bit?
You mean zoom in, Gov?
Yes, I do mean zoom in. Or you can zoom back to Shepherd's Bush and investigate the small veg thieves at the Dartmouth Gate. They're in makeup.
What?
The sort actors wear.
How can you tell it's acting
Oh,
makeup?
for one thing, it's caked on. Look at that big, ugly geezer done up like Tinkerbell. Actors get through more cold cream than Sue Brennan.
How do you know about actors' makeup?
Never you mind, Detective Constable.
Well, where is there a pub with actors still in makeup?
Oh, could be any of 100 pubs in the West End. But they wouldn't be still wearing mascara, would they? Especially the fellas. Looks more relaxed anyway. That body language says a good time was had by all.
Well, we know actors are notorious for partying. I used to see this girl up in the Grove.
All right, Hendry, spare me the gories.
But, Gov, there's still a few of those theatres left that are in rooms above pubs. Could it be one of those?
Bloody hell! Tony Mulvaney! As I live and breathe.
Who's he?
Him, slap bang in the middle. He's wearing makeup, but it's him all right. I'd know that face anywhere. I thought we put him down for a life stretch when I was a DC at Bethnal Green. Must be out early for good behaviour.
What did he do?
Oh, he only took a tyre iron to his ex-wife's new boyfriend, as I recall.
Nice guy, then. Let's have a look at his Facebook page.
He's got one and all, then.
Mm-hmm. Seems like quite the model prisoner. He's reformed himself as an actor, has a website now and everything. Want to have a look? Did some classes while he was on the island with a Jamie North.
Who's he, then?
She is now the artistic director of the Garden Gate Theatre in Kentish Town.
Well, that's a bit closer to home. And I'll bet those photos were taken in the Garden Gate's hallowed walls. That was quick.
Yeah, we only stayed for the match highlights, didn't we?
Well, some of us did.
All right, you two. What did you learn?
Nothing new, really. Professor Davidson had unfolded the body and made a cursory examination. Nothing else in the bag. But the prof reckons it was a blow to the head that did for him.
Not as helpful as we'd hoped, then.
No, Gov.
We sure it was murder? couldn't have been an accident.
Hard to say, Gov. Davidson wouldn't commit himself.
Do it yourself, Lizzie. All right, Sean, you and I are going to see an artistic director in Kentish Town. She worked with a friend of our victim, Tony Mulvaney. I want to know what he's up to these days.
Tony Mulvaney? Huh. I'm sure boots sell an ointment for that.
No, we're going to see a woman called Ms. Jamie North. Here's the address. You're driving.
The Garden Gate Theatre, Gaisford Street, Kentish Town. Here, what's this got to do with the case, though, Gov?
I want background on Mulvaney as he is now. And Miss North is the only one who I can reach who I know's had recent contact. Oh, I met him a long time ago when the team at Bethnal Green put him away for a life stretch. He's a nasty, vicious thug and quite capable of doing what we found in East London this morning. He's emerged from the island as an actor and appears in at least 3 photographs with our victim taken in the final weeks of his life. I'd say that gives us more than enough to go and talk to Miss North. Aid, you and Kirsty here are going to see the great Tony Mulvaney himself. Ready, Sean?
Yes, Gov.
Why's she got her knickers twisted about this Mulvaney bloke?
When I was a TDC on her squad, her instincts were usually spot on. That's good enough for me.
Yes?
DC March and DC Hendry from Kingley Street Police Station. Can we come in?
Yes, of course, officers.
Mr. Mulvaney?
Yes.
DC March, and this is DC Hendry. Mr. Mulvaney, we'd like to ask you a few questions concerning someone we believe to be an acquaintance of yours.
Oh.
Detective Sergeant Mark Appleton. What does that name mean to you?
DC March. That's right, isn't it? I'm not who I used to be, or indeed who you think I am. There's no need for the formality. Call me Tony. If we talk, we should talk as friends, and I think friends should call each other by their names.
Mr. Mulvaney.
You'll know all about me, of course. My journey has been an extraordinary one. From lost soul who committed a terrible venal act to actor who brings all of that life and depth with him onto the stage. But it's not real now, you understand.
Yes.
Jamie North helped me see that I had to channel my depth and darkness, otherwise it would consume me. Utterly. Have you ever been totally consumed, DC March? Oh, but I'm making you uncomfortable. That's unforgivable.
We want to ask you about your relationship with Detective Sergeant Appleton.
Oh, I didn't have a relationship with Marky. I'm fully cognizant prison makes some men turn to sodomy, but I'm powerfully heterosexual, DC March.
I'm not interested in your sexuality, Mr. Mulvaney. How did you come to know Detective Sergeant Appleton?
If you really must know, it's very simple. He came to the theatre where I was playing Brutus in Julius Caesar. If you know I know Marky, you'll probably know that in prison I met the woman who has been instrumental in changing the direction of my life. You could say she's directing the rest of my life, curating it. I've had roles in several plays at her theatre, the Garden Gate.
Yes,
She's
Jamie North, we know. One of my colleagues is talking to her, so bear in mind we will be checking up on anything you tell us today.
Well, she introduced us. Mark came to the theatre a few times, we got talking, he was a nice guy, that's all. I didn't interact with him outside of the bar under the theatre. And it only struck me when he disappeared that it was the same man.
Thank you, Mr. Mulvaney.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to help the long legs of the law.
Oh, you reckon this is it?
Yes. The pub doors were locked, and according to the electoral roll, Miss North lives in the flat above the theatre.
This looks like a back exit or a tradesman's entrance.
Well, it does say theatre on the door, so...
I have a feeling I know exactly what Jamie North is going to be like.
And I have a feeling I'm not going to warm to our Miss North one little bit.
Yes?
DS Spicer and DCI McHugh, Metropolitan Police. Miss Jamie North.
Let me see your warrant card properly. You flashed it so quickly. Okay, you'll want to come in, I suppose. You can't be too careful these days with trusting policemen, and I do use the word men advisedly.
Perhaps you'll answer my questions then, woman to woman. We're investigating the disappearance and the possible murder of Detective Sergeant Mark Appleton.
Who?
Detective Sergeant Mark Appleton. We have reason to believe he was a customer of your theatre on several occasions.
And we have you and him in the same photograph on Facebook.
I do hope you had a warrant to look at my Facebook, Sergeant. My father is one of the top lawyers in this country.
Miss North, this is a murder investigation. We don't need a warrant to look at the victim's Facebook page. And if you don't like that, I can refer you to one of the most senior policemen in the country. So I'd be grateful if we can cut the Lady Muck impression and stick to the point. We've accessed the deceased page and found you and another old acquaintance of the police photographed together in this building numerous times.
You'll mean Tony Mulvaney, of course. Once a con, always a con. Is that how it is, Inspector? I've worked with dozens of offenders, and I've seen the law of easy collars with staggering regularity.
There's no easy collar where he's concerned. He beat a man to death with a crowbar, and now I'm trying to get to the truth about what happened to a colleague of ours.
Well, that's all right then.
Who has a family who miss him and want answers. Human beings, just like the characters you march about in your party room up there. Except the ones I deal with are real and don't get put in a cupboard at the end of the night while the likes of Tony Mulvaney get to go and have a drink.
And I bet I know what you think about the likes of me as well.
I doubt you'd have the vocabulary to describe it.
Miss North, it would really help us if you could tell us how you came to meet DS Appleton and why he's in several photos on Facebook with yourself and Mr. Mulvaney. Then we can leave you alone to get on with your day.
Okay. I met him through Simon Deacon, another prisoner I worked with when I was volunteering at Brixton. I seem to remember he was quite small-time, never going to pull off the crime of the century or anything. I always got the feeling he was some sort of police informant, you know? Always served the minimum tariff before parole, that kind of thing. And that's all I know. Now you know what I know, and if you both kindly leave, I've got a day to get on with.
All right, listen up, you lot. Oh, Sean, can you do the briefing? It's Davidson, I've got to take it.
So, what have we found out today? If it's useful, it goes on the board.
Oh, Professor, please tell me you found something.
Well, I'm not sure if it's good news, but it was definitely murder. The angle of the blow, you see. I've done some measurements, and it's almost impossible a fall could have done that.
Could he have been hit by a car?
No, the injuries are entirely inconsistent with that.
I've cleared up a few hit and runs in my time, but never a hit and bag, I have to admit.
No, Detective Sergeant Appleton took a sustained beating and was finished off with a blow to the side of the head with something the shape and weight of a claw hammer. My assistant is emailing you a photo of the type we think made that impression on the skull. It looks like the claw end was used first, probably to torture rather than kill him, and then the final blow came from the round end.
Oh, pretty common brand. Even I've got one of those at home.
Well, ruling nothing out.
What I mean is, any number of DIY stores in the Bow area are going to sell those.
What is less common is the bag. It's a large oblong leather bag with a head logo on both side panels. A little research my assistant did came up with this. Also on the email.
Oh, yes. I remember those.
I did some checking, and that style of bag hasn't been manufactured or distributed in the UK in the last 18 years.
Well, that takes us back to 2005.
And it is Appleton. We can confirm that.
Ah. How did you get the DNA results so quickly?
You know, it's amazing what you can do when Dixon sanctions the budget.
Oh, yes. He did say this one's no expense spared.
And we got lucky. Appleton participated in a police DNA database trial in 2010. No one got round to wiping the records.
Good old GDPR.
Anyway, I must be going. You'll have my report by lunchtime tomorrow.
Thanks for the heads up. Enjoy your dinner.
Did I say I was dining? Night, Lizzie.
Evening, Mum.
Lizzie, glad I caught ya. A Sue Brennan here. Sean said you'd gone home for today.
What can I do for you, Mum?
I'm not pleased with you, Lizzie. It's only one day of the investigation and already you've been ruffling feathers. I thought AC Dixon was clear that the investigation had to be run low-key. Meaning, nae bother.
Oh, this is that Jamie North cow, right, Mum?
She's been on the phone to the yard, Lizzie.
I don't imagine she butted many parsnips there.
Lucky for you, AC Dixon asked me to sort it. And I've persuaded Miss North not to make a formal complaint, but your coat is on a shugly peg. You know her father is the Deputy Chief Crown Prosecutor at CPS. Anyway, you're not to go harassing her again. Understand?
I did no harassing. She'd probably have rung the Home Secretary if I had. And they were probably in the Cambridge footlights together.
Lizzie, you're a senior officer now. Playing politics is not an optional part of the job. Get on with the investigation and stop pishing about with the great and the good.
Message received and understood, Ma'am. I'll try not to be a wee shape bag either. Not really getting anywhere though, are we? The files aren't giving us anything. According to Appleton's diary, he was often compassionate and wasn't working any cases. He had quite a heavy caseload, but nothing heavy. Nothing that could get a man killed. The tastiest looks like a domestic in Kennington Lane, but a skinhead with Temperhead on his lager's hardly the sort of brain to pull off something like this. No, this took planning. The execution looks quite improvised. Bad choice of word there, Lizzie, but that's what we were meant to think. This is the work of someone who's done it before. First-time killers either get nicked quickly because they're sloppy, or they never get nicked because they're careful. My money says we're looking for the latter here. Simon Deacon? That's the one who brought Appleton to the Garden Gate Theatre. The one Jamie North talked about. I'm sure that name's ringing a bell. Stone me. He's been in and out of Kentish Town Nick so many times I should think they've given him a loyalty card. Also known as Sime Deeks, originally from London Fields, Borough of Hackney. Well, that's my old patch. Born 17th April 1996, deceased 28th of June 2023. Deceased? He can only have been 27. What happened? Found dead on the tracks outside Kentish Town Main Line. Suspicious death. Investigation ongoing out of Kentish Town CID. 0207454. Oh, hi. Is that Kentish Town Squad Room? It is, great. DCI Lizzie McHugh from Kingley Street CID, Soho. Yes. My authorisation code is 45624. Yes. I'm calling about an ongoing investigation you've got on the books. Suspicious death of one Simon Deacon, a.k.a. Sime Deeks. 28th of June this year. I think I might have a connection with a case I'm working on. Yes. The murder of Detective Sergeant Mark Appleton. Is DS Simway still in the office? He's gone home. Okay. Can you tell him I'll call him first thing tomorrow morning? Night.
Hey, Liam, did you get rid of that phone in the end?
Took it off him before he went in, yeah.
It's just... he's asking.
Ooh, Callister?
No, the Prime Minister, you prat.
Well, what's he want to know for? Don't he trust us now?
No, I don't think it's that. It's just... he's getting a bit... jittery, that's all. Still in your slaughter, is it?
The phone?
Yeah. Gutted?
No battery.
But it is still there.
Yeah, of course. Why the ag?
It's just... I have a feeling we're going to need a little insurance policy on friend Callister. If this malarkey comes on top.
Oh, that don't sound unreasonable.
He might be happy to sink with it, I ain't. His calls. Do you think you could bring it round my drum in the morning? I think the insurance needs to be properly cared for, if you know what I mean. Not languishing in your slaughter like...
So what's old Mona Minute getting jittery about now?
Well, they found a stiff, haven't they?
What, Appleby? Appleton?
Yeah.
I thought that couldn't happen.
Apparently that Burke Deeks chucked it in the wrong side of the sodding weir. Some face, McHugh, as in Paul, Callister says, has been put on it.
Any danger of Callister getting him to chuck...
It's an
Getting to chuck it?
Not enough money in the world, apparently. Straight as a die.
Or getting Callister to chuck this McHugh sort?
Don't even think such a wicked thought, Liam. It'll be us have to do the chucking. Straight into the long arms of the law and into the shovel, the way my luck's been running lately.
Oh, good job we sorted that streak of piss Deeks then, innit? Nefarious by Richard Bates. Part 2. Morning all. I hope you're all feeling rested, because we got another day of it today. Now we have a positive ID, we can finally proceed like a normal murder investigation. Right, Aid, can you finish going through DS Appleton's recent caseload? We need to eliminate anyone from his recent cases who might have had a grudge. ASAP.
Sarge, from what I've seen, he's clean. Completely clean. To the point of being boring. Appleton wasn't vice or serious crimes. He was a grudge with a skipper from a local station.
Still, we need to eliminate them all. Kirsty, can you do his personal life? I know the DCI had a look into his Facebook yesterday and turned up some interesting leads. See what else you can dig up. Address book, emails, phone calls, texts, WhatsApp. We need everything we can get.
She's still not in.
No, ma'am. No, what I mean is she's been and gone again.
Gone where, may I ask?
Kentish Town.
I'd better not find out. She's gone to see that wee Jamie North lassie.
No, ma'am, she's gone to see a DS at Kentish Town, Nick.
What's she pishing about with Kentish Town for? The tube. DS Appleton wasn't found in Kentish Town. He didn't work out of Kentish Town. We have no evidence his murder took place in Kentish Town. And what are yous lot doing?
Background investigation, ma'am. Get to know your victim, get to know your killer, that sort of thing.
Aye, well, you better get on with it then. Tell DCI McHugh to come to my office when she returns. That's ASAP.
Hi, DCI McHugh?
DS Simway?
Yes, ma'am. Nice to meet you. Sorry about the welcome. The squad room is a mess with builders right now. Believe me, it's quieter down here. You'll also want to see where we found Mr. Deacon's body, I expect. So we'll be going straight out again, if that's okay?
That would be really helpful, thank you.
It's not far. You know, when I got the message to call you this morning, I was curious why a DCI from Kingley Street was interested in a suspicious in Kentish Town. If you don't mind me asking, Ma'am.
Detective Sergeant Mark Appleton, DS Simway. Ring a bell?
Please, call me Nick. Yes. He's turned up, has he?
You could say that. We pulled him out of the Bow Locks gift wrapped in a sports bag, early hours of yesterday morning. Forensics confirmed, it's him.
And what's the connection to Simon Deeks?
Tenuous at the moment, but I think there's more to it than meets the eye. Did you know him, Nick?
Everyone at the station knew Simon.
Regular face and person of interest of this manor, was he?
I mean, never anything serious. Just regular. More often than you'd expect. You know how it is. Normally they come in a few times and then either go down for a stretch or move on to a new patch for a while. He didn't. He just kept coming back. Can't really put my finger on why, but...
Care to elaborate?
I mean, it's nothing concrete. You'll know from the file how he was found.
Yes.
Well, it's just we netted him on a number of busts. Small-time drugs mostly. Bit of possession of Class Bs here, kids on bikes pushing pills there. It was how he earned his living. To start with, we'd bring him in, charge him. He'd draw suspended the first couple of times. Then he went down for a year or two.
Doesn't exactly sound out of the ordinary to me. Pusher gets nicked, goes up the steps, goes down the road.
That wasn't. What was that he suddenly stopped.
Stopped getting nicked?
No, we'd still bring him in regular as clockwork. But the CPS would chuck it, or someone would be on the phone to the super and we'd be told, drop Simon Deacon out of it, he's not useful to us.
I see.
A few of us had a suspicion he was an informant for someone higher up. Have to be, wouldn't it? Not many can drop a prisoner out of charges these days.
Yes.
This is the spot. That's where it happened. Down there.
Oh, right outside the mouth of that tunnel?
That one.
What a way to go. File said the train cut him in half.
And some. I'll tell you another funny thing. I was at the post-mortem, and the path said because of the traumatic nature of the injuries from the collision, he couldn't be certain, but he thought Simon was dead before the train hit him.
Could he have been electrocuted first?
No, all overhead cables, you see.
I didn't read any of that in the report.
You wouldn't have. It never made it into the report.
Thanks, Nick. You've given me a lot to think about. I best be going. Yes, Ma'am. Yes, Ma'am. Soon as I get back to the office. Yes, I know, Ma'am. What's this? Oh, sorry, Ma'am, not you. Can I call you back? Call me back at Kingley Street, 0207.
Ah, there you are, Gov. Got some news for you.
Yes, thank you, I know. The super wants to see me like 2 hours ago. Sean, can you come with me? We need to talk in my office.
What is it, Gov?
This was left on my car while I was talking to DS Simway at Kentish Town. Here, have a read.
Bloody hell, is this for real?
No reason to believe it's not.
Inspector McHugh. Spelt wrong. Leave Simon Deeks out of it. He's dead and buried. Stick to the slag DS Appleton if you don't want to end up like him and Doolan. It's not signed. Well, of course it's not. Yeah, hang on. As in DS Doolan.
I know no other.
The same DS Doolan who was shot dead outside his front door last October.
While about to go up the steps to the Bailey for rape. Yep, the very same.
Lizzie,
Yes, Mum.
I thought I said you were to come straight to my office as soon as you got back from Kentish Town.
Ma'am, you better see this.
Leave Simon Deeks out of it. He's dead and buried. Who's Simon Deeks?
A possible line of inquiry, Ma'am.
Do we know who it's from?
Unless it's from Jamie North. I've no idea.
Oh, woman. Now is not the time to be getting facetious. In case you've forgotten, Steve Doolan was a serving officer about to go on trial for rape. We don't need any more roads leading back to that man, especially as the inquiry into his murder has all but ground to a halt.
Yes, Ma'am.
We do have a bit of good news, though.
Let me guess, Sean. You've won the Irish sweepstakes. Everyone in this station is a comedian suddenly.
No, ma'am. Mark Appleton's phone has come to life again.
I thought it was never recovered.
It wasn't, but I had the number flagged again in case someone tried to use it.
I thought mobile numbers died after 6 months.
Well, usually they do, but in this case, the team at Kennington had the phone company keep it alive so he could make contact if he turned up at some later date.
And when did it come back from the dead?
This morning. 0652. Phone company called just before 8. You'd already left for Kentish Town. We've triangulated it, and Uniform found it in a dodgy used phone shop on the Whitechapel Road.
For used, red nicked, I suppose. Did we pull in the shopkeeper?
Yeah, Bethnal Green have. Waiting for an interpreter to arrive. Said they'll pass on the phone once they've processed the shopkeeper for handling. Quite common round there, they say.
Tell him it needs to be today. We can't waste time with our thumbs up our backsides while they piss about with charging some poor sod for handling.
Get AC Dixon up to speed on this now. And get the notes over to forensics. Tell them they'll have Dixon on their backsides if they don't pull the fingers out.
Well, they'll know about it if that 5-foot bundle of Rennies and aspirin lands on them. Get Kirsty March to get this over to forensic and tell them we need it. We need the results fast. Shouldn't be any dabs on it apart from mine and whoever sent it. Hi, can you put me through to Assistant Commissioner Dixon's office?
Liam, where's the bloody phone?
I don't know, Andy. I keep saying. Bastards turned over everything.
When they break in?
Early hours.
Oh, I can't believe this is happening. You just had to keep it safe.
Well, how was I to know some pikey was going to turn me over? Today of all days.
All right. We've got to keep our cool head. What was this place?
My dad's black cab mechanic shop back in the day, you remember.
And who knows he's still in the family?
No one, really. Few of the other blokes what rent arches, like. Some of them go back to Dad's day. Council, National Rail.
Oh, yeah, of course. British fucking Rail nicked it.
Well, I'm just saying it's got to be pot luck, ain't it? On the part of the villain, like.
It sounds it. You better hope it was. Here. You don't think the old Bill's been down here, do you?
Nah. There's enough people round here to call if they turned up mob-handed. Yeah, does Callister know about it?
No. He thinks we destroyed it at the time. But on a Bow Creek or something. But that is all our insurance gone.
We better hope he don't find out it's now out there in God knows whose hands.
Come in. Oh, Lizzie, there you are.
Your secretary said to come straight in, sir.
Yes, I'll be brief. Sue Brennan has been keeping me up to date on the case. She tells me now there may be a link with the Steve Doolan investigation.
Yes, sir. Though I think it's tenuous at this stage. Just the note left on my car, sir.
Are you all right, Lizzie?
It's very warm in here, sir.
I don't need to tell you that the rubber heels are crawling all over the Doolan inquiry. And with the Casey report earlier this year, we need to handle with kid gloves any suggestion that someone is going round bumping off police officers.
Oh, of course, sir. I haven't established a direct link yet, so no need to worry their little heads.
But I'm going to let you run with it. And if you do find a link, you bring it straight to me, OK? And keep it low-key, though.
I would like to work with Kentish Town CID on the murder of one Simon Deacon. I think that is linked.
Simon Deacon?
Yes, he's the other face mentioned in the note left on my car. I think he's the more promising prospect at the moment. Sorry, sir, it's DS Spicer.
Off you go.
Might be some news.
Keep Sue Brennan up to speed.
Sir. Yeah?
Gov, good news and bad news. CCTV on the road in Kentish Town where you parked your car. Netto. Hoodie and face mask job.
And the good news?
Bethnal Green have sent over the phone and has revealed some very interesting recordings.
Recordings?
You know, voice notes.
Not really, but saying what?
Well, it seems he was mounting his own off-the-books obbo.
Was he indeed?
It's looking like he was tailing a couple of villains. One Andrew James Metcalf and a Liam Cochrane.
Never heard of them.
Both have got form, but I'd say Metcalf is the leader of the pack, judging by the length of the rap sheet. Thing is, there's a voice note from the 22nd of December detailing following Metcalf and Cochrane to the pub called The Victory. That's on Viner Street in the Cambridge Heath district of Hackney. Thursday before Christmas is also now the last time anyone saw or heard anything of Mark Appleton. Last recorded entry was 10:15 p.m. about Metcalf and Cochrane.
And by Professor Davidson's timings, we don't think Mark Appleton lived long after making that last recording. Bloody hell. What have we stumbled into here?
Well, it seems he'd been tailing them on and off for weeks. Off duty, mostly. There's hours of voice notes footage. From what I can gather so far, he thought Metcalfe and Cochrane had something to do with the murder of that DS out of Camden.
Doolan! Bloody Doolan! Oh, I was really hoping you weren't going to bring that name up, Sean. The complaints are all over that inquiry like a rash. And you know what happens if we show an interest.
Oh, we come out in hives too, I know.
All right, get the team to dig up as much background as they can from those recordings. And bring in Metcalfe and Cochrane.
Tonight, Gov?
No, let's surprise them and give them a 5 a.m. wake-up call tomorrow morning. Gives us more time to find something in the recordings. Oh, we're going to need detail. Everything we have so far is circumstantial. Their briefs will be screaming so loud we won't be able to make it through the interview. Can you marshal the troops? In the morning I'll be waiting at the Nick. You and Kirsty March go on the arrest with uniform.
Okay, Gov. See you for the big day tomorrow, then.
You've reached Jamie North at the Garden Gate Theatre. Please leave me a message and I'll return your call when I can. Thanks.
Jamie, love, it's Dad. Listen, there's going to be a spot of trouble coming up, so I need you to leave the Garden Gate for now and come down to me and your mum's. I don't want any police officers coming to interview you. Oh, and tell Tony Mulvaney to come down too. I've got a bit of work to put in his direction. Then he must get out of town for a bit. Wherever he wants, really. I'll pay. Call me when you get this, Love you.
We got them. I got Liam Cochrane still asleep in bed at home, and the Sarge got Metcalfe coming out of a pub lock-in round 4:30.
Any bother?
Cochrane came easy. I think the Sarge got a right-hander off Metcalfe, though. He's in custody, booking them.
All right, Kirsty, you and me are going to take Metcalfe. See how the macho man likes having to answer to 2 women. Aid, can you warm up Cochrane for us? I think he's going to be our best bet for a result. Don't give anything concrete, but let him think Metcalfe is singing his song for us.
Yes, Gov.
Keep them apart, so there's no chance they can confer. We want it short. We give nothing away, but we do it by the book. Got that?
Yes, Gov.
Morning, Sean. God, that's a right shiner you've got there. You'll save the Nick a fortune in light bulbs.
Yeah, thanks, Governor.
Metcalfe in that one?
Yes, Gov.
Go and get the quack to look at that eye. All right, Kirsty. Eyes down for a full house. DCI McHugh and DC March entering interview room 1, Kingley Street Police Station. It's 0840 hours, commencing interview with Andrew James Metcalfe. You understand you're still under caution?
Yeah.
And you've waived your right to a solicitor, is that right?
You what?
You don't want a brief?
Nah. Just tell me why I'm here.
As explained when you were arrested, you're here in connection with the murder of Detective Sergeant Mark Appleton.
Who?
See, we found his body earlier this week, and we've got his phone now.
What phone's that then?
DS Appleton's phone. He used it to take all his notes while he was following you and your Dutch Liam Cochrane around.
And why do you think I can help you? I didn't know he was following me, so why would I know what happened to him?
Well, it gives you a pretty good motive to want to get rid of him, I'd say.
Oh, and you can prove I knew, I suppose.
Nuisance copper spoiling business? Course you knew. And I reckon he'd found something on you, and you knew it was a matter of time before he was onto you.
I'm not hearing a question here. Fascinating as your theories are, I've got better things to do than ponce around in this carsy today.
It's called a motive, Mr. Metcalfe. But what's really damning is the last thing DS Appleton recorded was a voice note detailing being sat in a pub.
I've never been to no boozer or no Cambridge Heath.
With your mate next door. On the recording, you can clearly hear friend Liam asking him to play a game of pool with you two.
Oi, mate, do you want a game?
Me?
No, the wall behind you. Course you. Winner plays on.
I guess, okay.
Got a quid? For the machine?
Yeah.
I call that an opportunity.
So we played pool with a geezer once. Don't mean to say we know how else.
DS Mark Appleton never made another recording again. And as a matter of fact, was never seen or heard of after that. I think he was murdered that night, or very soon after. It wouldn't have been too difficult to get from there to the Bowlocks late at night either.
Well, this is a load of bowlocks, if you ask me.
Either you killed him first and took his body there, or, I think more likely, you lured him and then killed him there. Easier to dispose of the body that way. Why didn't you dump the body the other side of the locks, where the tide would have taken him out into the estuary?
We didn't. We didn't.
That just leaves us with means. As DS Appleton's skull was fatally crushed by a common or garden blunt instrument, a hammer, I doubt we'll ever find the one you used. That you probably did get rid of properly.
No idea what object you're talking about.
See, DC March, the thing I really don't understand is why they didn't get shot off the phone. Why keep it?
Stupidity, Mom.
Well, could be. Not on the part of Andy here, though. He's been down the road enough to know it would surface eventually.
Nice choice of word, Gov.
Oh, thank you. I thought so. I think our friend Liam hung on to it as a trophy. But Andy here found out and he got rid of it as quick as he could, and without thinking.
Keep guessing, you got nothing on me. Or Liam.
Oh, on the contrary. I think you're starting to shape up very nicely, Mr. Metcalf. Interview suspended 902 hours. DCI McHugh and DC March leaving the room. Problem is, he's right. We have got nothing. We don't even know for certain why Appleton was following them. There's nothing in either of their records to suggest a heavy-duty obbo was called for.
It's got to go back to Doolan. I know it's not what you want to hear, Gov, but Appleton and Doolan went to Hendon together, started at the same station, families stayed close until the allegations against DS Doolan blew up. Why else would an experienced detective risk everything on a bit of private enterprise? It's like you always say to us, when it's over, it's done. Bury the dead and move on. Unless it was a last act of friendship.
Why would Metcalf and Cochrane murder a CID officer who was about to stand trial anyway? Well, their form's all wrong for one thing, and there's no connection to the victim I can find. And Doolan was $1 million to go down for it, so why bother topping him? And if they didn't, why top Appleton?
I don't know, Gov, but he heard or saw something somewhere. I'll bet my overtime. They wanted him silenced, made safe.
Well, he's safe as houses now. All right, let me go and have a crack at Cochrane. I think he's going to be the easier of them to break down in interview. Where are we up to, DC Hendry?
Liam and I were just having a little chat about the mandatory tariff for murder these days.
Oh, good. I'm pleased to hear you're getting along already.
I was just letting Liam know that his friend next door would be busy being very helpful about now. First to confess, first to make parole. But Liam thinks he's smart. And he doesn't believe me.
Oh, doesn't he? Well, Liam isn't smart. Mr. Metcalf, on the other hand, he's very smart and is cooperating. All those years in and out the shovel have taught him a thing or two. And he can't take any more porridge. He just can't swallow it, you see. See, Mr. Metcalf remembers everything about prison. 23 hours a day in his 6x8. The smell of sweat. And shit. And boiling veg. Oh, and bleach. He remembers how it gets in your bones. How your skin starts to reek of it. And no matter how much you try and wash it off on the outside, it never ever goes away. And you know what? He doesn't want to go back. Any more porridge and he'll choke. The sweet air just won't be able to get into his lungs. Oh, he'll die. Of course he's talking. I've got means, motive, and opportunity. MMO. Those 3 letters are mighty small, but they're what I need to bang you up for a long time, Liam. And how do you think you'll fare? Pretty, young, corn-fed boy in his prime, in a cell with a con who hasn't had any for a long time? Oh, you're going to be so popular, Liam.
How about it, son?
All right.
Save it for the tape. Interview with Liam Cochrane recommencing 0930 hours. Present in the room are the suspect, DC Hendry and DCI McHugh. Go on.
We did know about that copper. It went down to Andy, though. Our boss put us wise.
And the night of Thursday, 22nd of December last, what happened?
No idea.
You were in the bar of the Victory, Viner Street, with Mr. Metcalf and DS Appleton. You invited him for a game of pool. What happened next?
I don't remember. Nothing. Honest.
Are you though, Liam? We've got the CCTV from the pub, haven't we, DC Hendry?
Yes, Ma'am.
Yes, Ma'am. So we know. We know what you did. You befriended Mark Appleton, who you knew to be a policeman, lured him into a false and, well, probably drunken sense of security, and then you and Metcalf killed him, Liam. It must have taken some guts to kill a police officer. Especially knowing the court will throw the book at you. No pleading to the chocolates about an abusive upbringing will get you off that sentence.
No, I didn't. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
What's going on in here? Liam, don't say another word.
And you are?
Tamara Markson. Partner, Markson Collins Rudd, Lamb's Conduit, WC1. I'm here to represent Mr. Metcalf and Mr. Cochrane. It seems Mr. Cochrane here is most in need of my help. So I'll start with him.
He told us he didn't want a brief.
He didn't call me. His employer did.
Who is?
And might I ask what business that is of yours? You are...
Detective Chief Inspector McHugh.
I need to confer with my client in private. In the meantime, I strongly suggest you either offer charges or release my client. If you do intend to charge him, please bring all the pertinent evidence you have, and we'll review it. I'm confident my client and I will be able to satisfy any of your questions with reasonable explanations. But if, as I suspect, you have nothing but circumstantial hearsay, I recommend you release my client before I take that pathetic charade I just witnessed to the IOPC.
Interview suspended. DC McHugh and DC Hendry leaving the room.
That was a bit strong, Gov.
Oh, I know, but we have nothing. And he seemed to be about the last person on Earth who doesn't know it.
And what was that about the pub's CCTV? You know the landlady said the camera's only a box on the wall for show.
Oh, I know. I refer you to my previous answer, my lord. Oh, let's give them time to confer. Get Metcalf charged with assault and resisting, and take him back to the cells to stew.
Yes, Gov.
Oh, bollocks. I missed that team meeting again. Oh, how am I supposed to charge any criminals if I keep having to sit through departmental meetings about CID printer overuse? Oh, you're a senior officer now, Lizzie. Your coat is on a shoogly peg. Bollocks to it all. Well, let's find out who you are, Ms. Tamara Markson. How did a tenner-penny tea leaf like Liam Cochrane get a Chancery Lane brief?
I hear Markson stopped you mid-flow earlier.
Good news travels fast, then.
I'll tell you something I'm surprised to see her defending.
What do you mean?
Well, she's a barrister. Tipped to make silk any day, that one. And she normally appears for the Crown, and only in high-profile, high-paying ones. She even got a conviction for the DCI at my old station.
Well, why the hell is she doing solicitor's work, then? And for someone like Cochrane, he's potless. I suppose I should go back downstairs and see if I can put a crease in Miss Markson's perfectly made-up brow.
What do you mean, Gov? They've gone.
What do you mean, they've gone?
Metcalf and Cochrane were both released an hour ago. Super's orders.
What about Metcalf's assault charge? On you?
Didn't stick. Brennan was down there shouting she wanted them out of here.
What the hell is going on today?
Yes, I'd like to know that too. Why did you have two suspects sitting downstairs not being interviewed? And why have I had a call from the CPS solicitors about the use of oppressive interview techniques at the station?
Not oppressive, Mom. Just reminding Liam Cochrane of what's at stake. He's not been up on one before, so I thought I might have a better chance at shaking the truth from him than an old hand like Metcalfe. And why did you release them, Mom?
Because that lawyer downstairs was screaming like a banshee about a formal complaint against you if I didn't. I could see nothing to hold them on either, Lizzie.
But she must have to put a call into someone at the CPS at the very least. Why does a petty villain like Liam Cochrane get the proverbial red carpet rolled out for him? Is someone at the CPS covering their tracks from a prior screw-up?
Oh, woman, don't you go causing any more trouble there.
Don't worry, I won't, Mom.
And where are you going now?
Home. I need to think.
Aye. I'll see you tomorrow then. And don't be arresting anyone else without talking to me first.
All right, Mom. Sean, hang about. Meet me in the Blue Posts in 10 minutes.
All right, you're on.
You've reached Jamie North at the Garden Gate Theatre. Please leave me a message and I'll return your call when I can. Thanks.
Jamie, love, it's Dad. Thanks for your text. I'm sending a driver for you and your things. It'll be someone new. Unfortunately, Mr. Cochrane is no longer working for us. The new driver will be outside the door on Hammond Street at 4. Bye, love. Pint of ales and a large G&T, please, love. Ta. Here you go.
Ta, Sean.
Oh, much as I like going for a drink while on duty, what's so secret we couldn't talk about it at the office?
While you were busy releasing my prime suspects, I was doing some research of my own. On our friends Metcalfe and Cochrane.
More stuff from Appleton's voice notes?
No, not this time. Metcalfe and Cochrane's own records. Criminal records.
Yeah, hang on, I thought Cochrane didn't have any form.
He doesn't, but it's not for want of charges. You know, something has felt wrong about this case all the way through. And I've had the feeling someone much higher up the food chain than Metcalfe and Cochrane is pulling strings behind the scenes. I just couldn't square Metcalfe's half a dozen convictions and Cochrane's arrest record with either or both of them committing 2, maybe 3 murders. People don't just step up a division in one leap like that.
So you do think the Doolan and Appleton murders are connected? Who's the third?
Simon Deacon, known to one and all as Sime the Slime Deeks.
And he is?
The reason I went to see DS Asimwe at Kentish Town. He slipped his mortal leash on June the 28th. Kentish Town had him down as a lone, unexplained death, but in our chronology, he fits perfectly at the end.
Right, on that basis, Doolan was the first.
Yes, exactly. You know, we've been looking at the whole thing the wrong way round. Doolan was first, last autumn, followed by Appleton last Christmas, because he must have got too close to whoever's pulling the strings on Metcalfe and Cochrane.
And your Simon Deacon?
I think my Simon Deacon, as you put it, was certainly involved in the Appleton murder. If not the Doolan job as well. Maybe not as the gunman who shot Doolan. I admit that's a bit of a stretch with his form. But certainly in the operation to make it happen.
But why kill him?
Deeks. For a mistake he made.
Mistake? But how do we know he made a mistake?
Whoever is planning all this has been fiendishly clever. We'd never have found any link, or even Appleton's body, if Metcalfe, Cochrane and Deacon had been able to follow their relatively simple instructions. The locks were chosen carefully, not just a spur-of-the-moment dump site because they're a few miles' drive from the Victory. One side of the weir, where Appleton's body floated, is the River Lee, which since the London Olympics is no longer tidal. The other side is the Bow Creek, which is very much tidal and goes into the Thames. Had things gone to plan, Mark Appleton's body should have been dropped on the other side of the weir and carried far away by the tide, never to be seen again. That was Deke's mistake.
So Simon Deacon was killed just for dropping the bag the wrong side of the lock? I almost feel sorry for him.
Well, that was our mastermind's first piece of bad luck. The second was the cock-up with Appleton's phone. I'm certain Mastermind told Metcalfe and Cochrane to get rid of it, so it would never ever see the light of day again. Either because of greed, or for another reason, one of them, probably Cochrane, hung on to it. Our Mastermind is utterly ruthless. That's how he's prevailed for so long without so much as a ripple being noticed.
That does make sort of sense. Thing I don't get, Gov, is how did you connect Simon Deacon into all this?
It was something Jamie North said. I didn't notice it at the time.
Oh yeah, Jamie North, the posh sort from the theatre.
Yeah. She mentioned Simon Deacon when we interviewed her, remember? He introduced her star turn and convicted murderer Tony Mulvaney to DS Mark Appleton.
I see. Have you briefed the rest of the team?
Not yet.
Well, why not? I mean, this is hardly so top secret we couldn't discuss it at the office. And anyway, we need to start looking for this mastermind. ESAP.
Because I already have a good idea who it is.
What? Who?
After you told me you'd released Metcalfe and Cochrane, I did some background on our lawyer friend, Tamara Markson. You're right, she has worked for the CPS. A lot. One name kept cropping up in connection with the cases she's worked. Who is it kept hiring her to prosecute the high-profile cases? I looked in Cochrane, Metcalfe and Deacon's records too. DS Asimwe told me that Simon Deacon was a regular visitor to Kentish Town Nick, but they suddenly stopped being able to make anything stick. They'd offer up the charges, and the CPS would chuck them. They were all different case officers, but a couple of line managers away, we came back to the same name time and time again.
Who?
Deputy Chief Crown Prosecutor, Lawrence Callister.
Holy shit.
Now you see why we had to discuss it here.
Yeah, I do. Can you prove it?
Not yet. I've had AC Dixon get a phone tap authorised by the Home Office for Metcalfe and Cochrane. I need to see where they go and who they meet.
Does Brennan know?
No. Neither does Dixon. Only enough to get him to authorise the phone taps. If Lawrence Callister gets even a whiff we're investigating him, the case will be down the Kazi and we'll all be out of our jobs at the very least. Remember the note on my car? Bloody hell! Tamara Markson walked in as I was breaking down Cochrane. She heard him. He was about to crack. If she's reported back to Callister...
Which if you've got this the right way round, she will.
Cochrane's going to be our next victim. Simon Deacon was brutally beaten and killed just for dropping a bag the wrong side of a weir.
All right. Listen a minute. If it is Callister, he's got a lot to lose if it all gets brought out into the open, hasn't he? Thing I still don't understand is why. Why risk an high-profile, highly paid legal career to off a few deadbeats he could have sent to prison for the rest of their lives, and at no risk? And why take the chance on killing a police officer who was all but certain to go to prison for a long stretch anyway?
Oh, I don't know. You'd better get back to the office and get a trace on Cochrane's phone. We need to bring him in for his own safety.
Yeah. And what are you going to do, Gov?
Think. I've got a lot of thinking to do.
This evening, we're extremely pleased to be welcoming the Deputy Chief Crown Prosecutor from the Crown Prosecution Service, Mr. Lawrence Callister. Welcome.
Thank you, Julia. It is very much my pleasure to talk with you tonight.
Lawrence, you're a well-known figure to people who follow the culture wars in our country. Many of our listeners will know you for your views on health and safety and the so-called nanny state.
Quite right. I have simply had to become more outspoken against the invasion of bureaucrats using health and safety culture as a tool to put themselves into the middle of our lives. If you'll permit me to expound a little further, it is also a pernicious waste of the working man and woman's time, and an attempt by external forces designed to hamstring the values that once made our country a great nation.
More recently, you have become an outspoken critic of the Mayor of London's grip, or lack of grip, on law and order. In light of the Casey report and the public loss of confidence in the police, do you think the Metropolitan Police still have the right to police the streets of London?
Well, of course, that's a loaded question, Julia. But I will answer it in the spirit in which you have asked. No, I don't. I think root and branch reform is urgently needed. I believe, as they stand now, the Metropolitan Police is no longer a barrel containing the odd rotten apple, but rather the barrel is now full full to the brim with rotten apples.
You feel the police have failed in their duty to police themselves adequately, then?
I do indeed. But quis custodes ipsos custodiet? Who will guard the guards themselves?
On your fucking knees, you slag.
I didn't tell him nothing, Tony. Honest.
Mr. Callister don't believe you. You've become a problem to him, Liam.
No longer can we allow the police to investigate their own failings. We need an independent task force that will hunt down police wrongdoing without mercy. Personally, I believe that should be headed by the Crown Prosecution Service. You know, we have a long track record of impartiality, and above all, we are lawyers, so outside the normal constraints felt by even the IOPC.
I think the Mayor of London would disagree with you.
Well, with the greatest of respect to the Mayor, I was talking to the Home Secretary quite recently, and one of the first items of the agenda for the 2024 Parliament is to abolish the London Assembly and the Mayor of London's office with it. It is mere impedimenta to justice.
Which means you've become a problem to me, Liam. And Mr. Callister has asked me to clean up the mess.
Please, Tony.
It's Mr. Mulvaney to you, scum. At least Slime Deek's made an honest and genuine fuck-up. You slag, you just opened up to the first cozzer who'd listen.
I didn't. I done everything like you said. Tony, please, you can't kill me. You can't. Please don't kill me.
And the power of retribution over deviant and miscreant members of both the public and police needs to lie with those best equipped to mete out justice. The Crown of the United Kingdom, who have, in their various offices of state, overseen justice for over a millennium in this country of ours. We are still a kingdom, you know, not a republic.
Let's quickly go over to the tweets from our listeners and comments from those watching online. Oh, it seems you're garnering a lot of popular support here, Lawrence.
Well, the working man and woman of Great Britain have had a bellyful of feeble snowflakery and defeatist wokery. They want an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Not the parody of enlightenment that is enacted in public life in the name of decency.
Oh, I'm not going to kill you, Liam.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Mr. Mulvaney. I knew Mr. Callister would understand.
Andy is. I'm going to make Andy do it. Here you go. It's loaded, and there's 15 bullets in it, so there's no excuse to miss.
Andy.
Mr. Metcalf, you are called to do your duty for the cause.
Andy, please.
Mr. Callister calls you to do your fucking duty.
You can't do this. Don't listen to him,
Shoot
Andy,
the
please.
fucking slag.
Thank you, Lawrence Callister. That's been most interesting and, might I say, gratifying to hear the views of the majority in our country so eloquently expressed.
Thank you, Julia. It has been a most edifying discussion.
Nefarious by Richard Bates. Part 3.
Where's Cochrane now?
Hang on, Gov, let me check. Mobile, you still got eyeball on Cochrane? Damn, they've only bloody gone and lost him.
Stupid!
Where was the last sighting? Hour ago, Victoria Station. They've been looking for him since.
Did he get on a train?
Did he get on a train? No, they lost him by the entrance on Wilton Road. They think he might have gotten to a car.
What about the trace on his phone?
Dead, apparently, Gov. Must have removed the SIM.
Well, that's that then. No bloody chance of finding him now. And if we do, it'll be when an angler hooks his body out of a river. Yes, who's this?
It's Annie Metcalf.
Can you speak up a bit?
No, they'll hear me. You need to get to Thruxted Mill, Pennypot Lane, near Canterbury. Cochrane's dead.
All right, everyone, listen up. That was Andy Metcalf. Cochrane is dead. Sean, get this address down. Thruxton Mill, Pennypot Lane, Canterbury.
You got a postcode, Gov?
I'm not sending him a sodding Christmas card. Find it yourself. Kirsty, can you get some uniforms together, in case he's got an army down there? We're not taking any risks on this one. We go in with the full cavalry. I'm going to update the super and liaise with Kent Police. Be ready to go in 45. Mom, there's been a development.
Mr. Mulvaney?
Yes.
Did it all go according to plan?
Yes, boss, sweet as a nut. I had to finish Cockroach Cochrane myself. Metcalf bottled it. We now have the Beretta with his dabs on, though, so I'd say we've got him just where you wanted him.
Did you need to use the gun?
Nah. Finished him with a metal bar that was to hand. They can check when a gun was last fired, and it's still dooling. Now we can use it any time we like to. Hold a gun to Metcalf's head if he steps out of line.
Oh, Tony, you're a sadistic bastard. But a clever one. I need more men like you. Ruthless, ambitious, savvy.
We're a dying breed, boss.
And what did you do about Mr. Metcalf?
Left him there. He'll find a way to crawl back under his stone.
Are you sure that was wise? Shouldn't we have terminated his employment as well?
He won't say nothing. He just saw his best mate's head explode like a watermelon, and he knows I have a gun with his dabs on, carefully wrapped and ready for the police to find any moment.
Oh, I see. And what did you do about Mr. Cochrane's body?
Left it there. No dump, no evidence. Who's going to go snooping round an abandoned animal rendering plant that's contaminated with mad cow disease? And even if some dosser finds him, he ain't going to connect back to us.
I suppose you're correct. I do like the way you think, Mr. Mulvaney.
We've been careful, boss. And we got you to thank for that.
Your gratitude is warmly received, Mr. Mulvaney. Now, please remain at the house. Get my daughter to pour you a large malt. I'll see you when I return in a short while.
I think this is it, Gov.
Google Maps is saying the next gate. Oh wait, it's caught up now. That way, I think. The uniform is flashing you on with his torch.
This way, Mom.
Thanks. What an awful place. Ooh, the stench of death is still here. When did it close?
2008, apparently. What exactly did they do here?
You're a bit too young to remember BSE, aren't you, Kirsty?
Yes, Gov.
This is one of the places the bodies of cattle that died of mad cow disease came to be rendered and ground down to fat and dust.
Makes you feel sick, doesn't it? There they are. I can see the arc light in that barn.
Over here, Gov.
How did you get here before us? Bloody hell! If the stupid sod had just confessed, at least he'd be alive now. How long?
Just a couple of hours. SOCOs say don't touch anything. This place is still highly contaminated and an health hazard. Pathologist is saying he was bludgeoned, just like Appleton.
How many of them?
And most likely just the one attacker, apparently. They can't be sure until they get him back to the mortuary. They say there's evidence someone else was here too.
That'll be Metcalf. You phoned us, remember?
Yeah, there's some partial tyre tracks in the mud over there, look. Soccos reckon a large saloon or SUV. They're gonna take casts.
Well, they'd only need one car to bring him here and kill him.
Do you think Callister did it himself?
No chance. Kirsty and I heard him on the car radio as we were leaving London. Live. No way he could have got down here in time. He had someone do it. Metcalfe didn't say who else was here, though. Any sign of him?
No, Gov, not a thing. He'll be long gone by now, if he's not lying somewhere nearby.
Well, let's hope for his sake he got away.
So, how do you want to play it? You gonna bring Callister in?
No, not yet. He lives nearby, though. Let's go and question him at home. As a witness. Kirsty, can you finish up here and get anything relevant back to the office?
Daddy, you were spectacular on the radio.
My hands were a bit full at that time, boss.
You'll walk it in the by-election, you know, Daddy.
I hope so, darling. Mr. Mulvaney, would you care for another malt? This is a particularly fine cooperage. The Home Secretary gets a special badge.
Mr. Mulvaney. Fancy seeing you here. DCI McHugh and DS Spicer. Is Mr. Callister at home?
Yes. This way.
DCI McHugh, DS Spicer, Kingley Street Police Station, London. Ah, Miss North. The coincidences just keep coming. The different name, you see. I didn't instantly make the connection.
I use my mother's maiden name for work.
You're a long way off your beat, officers.
Are you aware of a disused industrial site, Thruxted Mill?
Well, yes, of course. The old meat place. It's not 5 miles down the road from here. Why?
A body connected to a case I'm investigating was discovered there earlier this evening.
And why are you...
Oh, I'm not here to question you as a suspect, sir. I was just wondering if you or any of your guests have seen or heard anything, or anyone, out of the ordinary tonight, seeing as how you're the nearest house.
We've been in all the evening.
That's right. Haven't been out.
Well, apart from you, Mr. Callister. I heard you on live radio as I was driving down from London.
Well, yes, but...
You didn't see anyone? An unusual car which passed you on your drive home, perhaps?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Oh, thank you. That'll be all. Oh, that's a very fine malt there. Mr. Mulvaney is lucky to have such generous friends.
Do I know you?
We met a long time ago, Mr. Mulvaney. In a professional capacity, you might say.
You know your whiskies, Chief Inspector?
Oh, I may only be able to afford to drink gin on my salary, but I notice everything, sir.
I'll show you out. Bye then, Chief Inspector. Sergeant. Is that it?
For now.
I thought you were going to ask him about his connection with Mulvaney.
Not yet. We've got nothing but circumstantial on him. That's the trouble with this case. The whole thing is bloody circumstantial. As soon as he knows we're onto him, he'll pull up the drawbridge and we'll never find anything. Oh, my phone's in there. Can you get the number Metcalfe called me on? Got it?
Yeah.
Was it a mobile?
Yeah.
Bingo. Text it and say we haven't got quite enough to nail Callister. We're going to need his help. Then he'll need to set up a meet with Callister in due course. We'll do the rest.
If you don't mind me asking, Gov, how?
I've no idea, Sean. We better hope Metcalfe can give us something.
Yeah, I've read your report, Lizzie. There are some very serious allegations. If we're going after Callister, this has got to be not just watertight, but bomb-proof.
I know, sir.
I agree with Lizzie, though. There are far too many coincidences for the connection to be accidental.
And now we have a partial print on the crowbar found at Thruxted Mill. And forensics have confirmed it was the weapon used to kill Liam Cochrane.
And the fingerprints are Tony Mulvaney's.
Enough for a match, yes, sir. He was also at Callister's house when I took a witness statement.
Yeah, that was risky, Lizzie, very risky. We don't often send DCIs to take witness statements. Callister will know that. The amount of evidence he's processed.
A calculated risk, sir. Not only was Mulvaney there that night, but we have the CPS not objecting to Mulvaney's parole at the earliest opportunity, despite him being inside for a vicious and premeditated murder. Then there's the connection with Tamara Markson.
It's all still circumstantial, though. If we're going to ask the CPS to bring charges against their own Deputy Chief Prosecutor, we are going to have a chain of physical evidence.
And I think we have it, sir. Metcalfe told me Mulvaney tricked him to get his dabs on the gun used to murder Steve Doolan. This morning, I executed a warrant to search Mulvaney's London flat, and we found a Beretta pistol wrapped in plastic under the shower tray.
Yeah, they don't get any smarter.
OK, let's say we accept Callister ordered Mulvaney, or Metcalfe, to bump off Doolan. Why did Callister do it?
I don't know for certain, sir. I think his crusade against the rotten apples, as he calls them, has become an obsession. He's been in the media a lot lately, talking about the collapse of law and order. There's a long list of people he blames, and maybe he wanted to make a high-profile example. Legal process is no longer enough for him. He wants guaranteed convictions, to be judge, jury, and executioner.
Eesh, doesn't bear thinking about. A senior member of the CPS in a vigilante crusade against any element of society he can't stomach.
And he's standing for Parliament.
I know.
I've arrested Mulvaney, and he's back at Kingley Street awaiting interview. I'm sure he'll call on Tamara Markson to get him out. But I've got more than enough to charge him, no matter what that stuck-up Miss Markson says. And while he's in, I've got Metcalfe to demand a meet with Callister, or he'll tell all.
He's a dead man.
It's risky, but with Mulvaney banged up, Callister will have no choice but to come himself. I don't think he has the bottle for violence, though.
You'd better hope not. When's it happening?
9 p.m. tonight, sir. Stepney Green Tube Station. Metcalfe's choice. Apparently it's where he usually meets Mulvaney for instructions.
That's a difficult spot to defend. It's an enclosed public space, but if we close it to the public and bring in SO19, Callister will certainly smell a rat.
I think we've just got to stake it out and see if Callister really turns up first.
Sign out small arms for your team. We might not be able to send in the heavy mob, but I don't want your team going in wide open down there. Good luck, Lizzie. You're going to need it. Let me know the minute you make an arrest.
It's getting on for 9. Do you think this is the one, Gov?
I shouldn't think so. When he comes, he'll be bang on time. And I think he'll come in on the other side, from the city. Sean, have you got eyeball on Metcalfe?
Yeah, he's 2 benches down from me. Listen, I'm feeling a bit exposed here, Gov. Someone's gonna come and have a word in a minute. I'm already getting some funny looks.
Just look like you're waiting for someone. Check your phone. Any sign?
Let me go and stretch my legs.
Anything?
Nah, nothing. Metcalfe's looking a bit jittery, Gov.
We could have a warm hug from the custody sergeant once we wrap this up. Have we checked his wire?
I did, back at the station, Gov. All working fine.
And I did once we got here.
Well, let's check it again. I don't want to miss a word Lawrence Callister says. This might be our only chance to get him on tape admitting anything.
Well, they do say you got no evidence, you get no confession.
Thanks for the boost, Sean.
All right. I'll check it again. Yes, don't panic, it's just me, DS Spicer. Can you give us a few words to make sure the microphone you're wearing is still working okay?
Will these few words do?
Perfect.
Gov, it's him. Callister.
Where?
Third carriage, middle doors.
It is. Bloody hell, it is. He's early. You got him too, Sean?
Yeah, what do you want me to do?
Just wait a minute.
He's not getting off. Why not?
Bloody hell, has he seen us? Shall I follow him, Gov?
Unlikely. No, if we all start moving, he'll definitely tumble us.
Do you reckon that was it, Gov?
No, I think that was a dummy run. To see if the station was crawling with wooden tops waiting to march him off to Chokey.
It is only 5 to 9.
And he's nothing if not punctual.
I'm feeling pretty exposed here, Gov. Got some old bat sitting next to me staring at me now.
Right, all right. I'll send Kirsty over. Look like you're meeting her for a date.
Do I have to go over there and be his girlfriend, Gov? Can't you go on a date with the old dear?
Don't worry, you'll be fine as long as you don't let him take you out for a ruby. Right, I'm going to stay here until we have Eyeball and Callister getting off the train. He went east, so he's most likely going to come back westbound when he comes. That's this platform.
OK. Good luck, Gov.
Sean, are the tube staff on standby to clear the station if Callister comes tooled up?
Yes, Gov.
You remember the plan, Sean?
Yeah. Let them talk. See if we can get anything extra on the wire Metcalf's wearing. But go in and nick 'em both if it looks like it's getting ugly.
Sorry. I'm just a bit apprehensive. Here we go. He's getting off the train and heading towards the overbridge. He's going up the steps. Should be with you in a few seconds, Sean.
Got him, Gov. Cool as you like, going straight over to Metcalf.
Okay, let's maintain radio silence unless there's an emergency.
You've got a nerve, Mr. Metcalf. I wouldn't have called you out unless it was really important. Thing is, I can't take any more, Mr. Callister. With Liam getting killed and me being nicked, I'm worried I'm going to crack and tell him. I can't keep you out of it, Mr. Callister, no more. My head's fit to burst with all the pressure I've been under. Get a grip, Mr. Metcalf. You're a professional, and I'm a professional. No one is telling anyone anything anyhow. But I saw Mulvaney kill him with my own eyes. It plays over and over in my head like a VHS that won't wear out. I dream about it. It was a necessary expedient, Mr. Metcalf. We both believe in the cause, don't we? Real justice. Remember that, Mr. Metcalf. Or have you forgotten, like Mr. Cochrane did? No, sir. And have you forgotten you're in it up to your neck as well? Yeah, but the first ones were necessary, though, I get that. But Liam, what did he do? Mulvaney just killed him because he's addicted to killing. He's no actor. He's a psycho. Oh, what did Liam do? What did Liam do? He got greedy. He defied a direct command from me. I told you both to dispose of the phone and any other peripheral evidence, but he kept it. His sloppiness, his greed, his stupidity almost cost us the entire cause. Men are disposable. You and me even are disposable, but not until the cause is out of the cradle and standing on its own feet. Till then, it needs parental love and nurture. Take that away, and those who wish to kill it will let it die of exposure to the filthy, woke, self-satisfied, corrupt, greedy, tiny sector of our society who want to sacrifice justice for their own political power. I represent that parental love. And I will do anything to protect the justice I have nurtured all these years. But you didn't order the killing of Liam. My friend, my bestest friend in the whole world. Tell me you didn't. Oh, of course I did. He was stupid and greedy. He'd already outlived his usefulness, and like any piece of scrap, I sent him to the crusher. You bastard! You no-good, mouthful of hot potatoes bastard! What's this?
What?
Everyone stand by.
Are you wearing a wire? Are you recording this conversation for the police, Metcalf? Oh, that DCI bitch who came to my house.
He's got a flick knife, Gov. We need to get in there.
Okay, go.
Yeah, I am. And I'm doing it for that piece of scrap. Liam Cochrane was his name. You're going to kill me too, are you?
With pleasure. Detective Sergeant Spicer, drop the weapon. Drop your weapon, Mr. Callister. It's all over now anyway.
Lawrence Callister, I'm arresting you for conspiracy to murder Detective Sergeant Stephen Doolan, Detective Sergeant Mark Appleton, Mr. Simon Deacon and Mr. Liam Cochrane, and for grievous bodily harm on Mr. Andrew Metcalf. And anything else I can come up with. You do not have to say anything, but anything...
Fucking good work, Lizzie.
Thank you, sir.
And we got him on all of it.
I've got a recording of him admitting to ordering the murder of Liam Cochrane. That, plus Mulvaney crumbling under the weight of DNA on the crowbar, and giving us Callister in return for considerations. Ballistics have matched up the gun we found in Mulvaney's drum to the weapon used to execute DS Doolan.
Yeah, I suppose that's how Callister saw it.
But his story tallies with Metcalf's. That Callister told him to get Metcalf's prints on it and keep it for a rainy day in case he got out of line. But of course he couldn't once we nicked Mulvaney.
Is Metcalf going to pull through?
Yes. Hospital reckon he's going to make a full recovery. The knife missed any major organs by some miracle. The only one Mulvaney's refusing to put his hands up to is Doolan. Swears he didn't and gave us an alibi. Aid Henry is on his way to Manchester, where Mulvaney says he was that morning, to check it out.
Does that mean Callister did it himself?
I guess so, sir. I can't see Metcalf or Cochrane being hitmen. Can you? Metcalf's got a big gob, and I can see him getting into a bull and cow and accidentally killing someone. But a drive-by? Callister did start off working for the courts-martial, so he'd have access to any number of people who could get him a gun and show him how to use it. The gun would match Callister's profile much better, too.
You going to interview Callister in the morning?
No, I'm going to do it tonight. Strike while the iron's hot and all that.
Well, good luck. I'm going to say good night and head off. Bloody congratulations again, Lizzie. Now, go in there and finish it.
Good night, sir. DCI McHugh entering the room at 0340 hours, Thursday the 20th of July, 2023. Also present, Detective Chief Superintendent Brennan, also of Kingley Street Police Station. Mr. Callister, have you been read your rights?
Yes.
You'll be aware by now the body of evidence against you is overwhelming. This is the confession of Mr. Tony Mulvaney, made at this station a few hours ago.
Judas.
Then we have your confession to ordering the murder of Mr. Liam Cochrane, recorded earlier this evening.
Inadmissible, but inevitable, I suppose.
Entrapment.
Gov, can I have a word?
Now?
I think you're going to want to hear it.
All right. Interview suspended. DCI McHugh leaving the room. Well?
Just heard from Aid Hendry. Mulvaney's alibi checks out. There's no way he could have done Doolan.
That means Callister did the first one himself. It was personal.
And the geeks have gone through the sat-nav on Callister's car and put him near the home address of Steve Doolan at around the time of the murder.
Got him. Well, enough to give him some explaining to do. DCI McHugh returning to the interview room at 0347 hours. I've just heard some very interesting news from my colleague.
Oh, and what is that?
That Tony Mulvaney was nowhere near Stockwell the morning DS Doolan was shot. But you were.
Well, I would had to have been, wouldn't I?
And why's that?
To kill that rapist. No point denying it now. Out of interest, what gave me away?
Your car. The sat-nav?
Ah, yes. There's always one little crack in the dike that threatens to overwhelm everything else in the end.
So you're not denying it?
What would be the point?
Are you also admitting to conspiring to murder Detective Sergeant Mark Appleton? Mr. Simon Deacon and Mr. Liam Cochrane, and to stabbing Mr. Andrew Metcalfe? Who's going to be fine, by the way?
Yes, I am.
Then I only have one further question. Why? After all the years that you've worked with the police, after the upteen times we've sat across meeting tables working out how to nail jelly to a wall.
Permit me to respond to your question with a question, DCI McHugh. Do you like the country we live in? Do you like what it has become?
I suppose so. Well, there's plenty of things I don't like, but we have to get on with it until there's something better.
I see. Well, let me tell you. I hate it. I hate what it's become. I have spent nearly the last 40 years trying as honestly as I know how to see that people get justice. Justice, not punishment. People getting what they deserve for the actions they have taken or the course they have chosen to pursue in their lives. Differentiating between the career criminal who risks the consequences every time they commit an offence because it's easier than getting an honest job, or the obsessive with a sickness, differentiating them from the person who has slipped through a crack in life and done something stupid out of desperation. And believe me, that's not always an easy distinction to make. People used to be grateful to people like me for walking the difficult line, for keeping dangerous elements off our streets. But now they spit in your face. They get behind a computer and go on some awful website like Twitter, and they trash you as a person and burn everything you have built in your entire career without knowing you. Without evidence. They despise you. You are a bigot. You are an old white man who sends people to jail for a living. Because you like it. Because you're a racist, or a homophobe, or a misogynist, or a transphobe. They curse you, as part of the problem, to borrow their unhappy phrase. They make an instinctive judgment without any evidence whatsoever. You are guilty until proven innocent, and you have no right to reply or even defend yourself.
Okay, but I still don't understand how that turned into murdering a police officer, even if he was disgraced and—
Well, if all that wasn't enough, who should pass across my desk just at that moment but DS Stephen Doolan, a man I'd spent hours with in my office talking to as a friend and colleague, sharing a whiskey after a successful result in court. A rapist. I had to go through the file before it went to trial, and let me tell you, going through that file made lamentable reading. It made me sick to my stomach. And do you know what made me sicker? Knowing a policeman had done those things. Not a Twitter troll or left-wing agitator, but a man who had sworn to uphold our common values. The evidence was overwhelming. There could be no doubt.
Why kill him, though, if he was almost certain to be convicted?
Why, you ask? Always why? I'll tell you. Because I realized that all the values I built my life around have crumbled away. I could take people deriding the establishment of this country, of which I'm proud, on Twitter, because they know nothing and they're stupid. But knowing my colleagues in the police, whom I looked upon as moral groins against the tide of decay, were also falling away and at it, as policemen used to say when I started off, that was too much. I couldn't let him live and get away with it on a technicality because an evidence bag serial number had been accidentally transposed. That's what happened in the last case like this, you know. The defense used this one error to imply the whole prosecution case we'd spent weeks of work painstakingly piecing together was either slipshod or worse, corrupt. So, I decided I had to act. No one else was going to. Not the IOPC. Not the Met, and certainly not the weak, degenerate government.
But you did exactly what you're accusing other people of. You set yourself up as judge, jury, and executioner. You denied Steve Doolan the chance to defend himself.
That's your interpretation, not mine. I saw justice was done. That's the way I see it. I've explained it to you. If you choose not to understand, then that's your loss and your funeral. DCI McHugh.
Well, understand this. You'll be charged now and appear before the magistrate in a few hours' time. Interview terminated 0420 hours. DCI McHugh and DCS Brennan leaving the room.
Well done, Lizzie. You got him.
It doesn't feel like much of a victory, does it, Mom?
Thursday night, inside the Victory, tailing Metcalfe and Cochrane. They're sat at the bar. Don't think I've been eyeballed yet. Shadowed Cochrane by car from Metcalfe's flat on Haygate Street, up through the elephant.
We got him for you, Mark. In the end. Sorry it took so sodding long. Sleep well, son. Come.
Boy, you're starting to sound like the super.
Ah, Sean. Can you get the team to start writing up when they get in?
Yes, Gov. Here, do you fancy some breakfast? The Greasy Spoon on Darby Street is open now.
Yes, I am a bit peckish. Yeah.
So why do you do it then, Callister?
Oh, he tried to explain that to me himself, and I still don't really understand. Anger, vanity, despair, maybe. All very powerful, and all very dangerous when they get mixed up together.
Morning, Mom. I hear you cracked the case last night. Congratulations.
Thanks, Dave. We did. But leave it a bit before you ring me in the middle of the night with another call out to a body, eh?
Course. Righto, Mom. You off out for a spot of grub?
Yes, Dave.
Bring us back a bacon sarnie, ketchup and brown sauce.
Oh, I'm famished, you know.
You and your stomach, Sean. I heard it growling outside my office before you came in. Thought it was Sue Brennan.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, Gov. Forensics asked if you could stop by today and pick up that note from your car they analysed.
Now he tells me.
Sorry, Gov. This was an Evcol Entertainment Clockwork Digital Studios original production, a part of the On Another Wavelength audio anthology series, featuring the voice talents of Michelle Campbell-Jones, Holly Gillanders, Will Harrison-Wallace, Mitch Howell, Chris Machari, Georgie Montgomery, Helen Stirling-Lane, and Mark Stewart. Written by Richard Bates. Directed and produced by Simon James Collier. Series created and co-produced by Adam Dechanel. Soundscape design by Zachary Elliott-Hatton.